A lot of my viewers are from the United States, but they only make up 50% of my viewership. So half the other viewers are not from the United States. And I'm not from the United States. So this is a subject I want to talk about. That is buying silver with foreign currencies. Let's find out. Gold and silver is usually denoted in United States dollars. I believe at the current price, gold is at the edge of the $1,900. It dropped a bit. I think it's $1,899 today. And silver is $24, $25, right? Most analysts, when they look at gold and silver, they look at it in terms of dollars, only in terms of dollars. And they will tell you, yes, gold and silver's value relative to the dollar is either going to go up or go down depending on the monetary supply of the dollar. But what if you don't earn money in dollars? I don't earn my income in dollars. I know a lot of people earn it in euros. I earn it in Swiss francs, right? How is it the buying experience for us? Because if I evaluate how much gold and silver I can buy, I can tell you that over the last month and a half, gold and silver has been moving up. If you bought, for example, when it was a bit lower, a bit higher at 1900, and now suddenly it's 1800, your 1850, your gold has gone down a little bit. I can tell you that this coin I bought, I think a few months ago for 350 Swiss francs is still 350 Swiss francs. I checked on the site from the dealer that I bought it, they're still buying and selling at the same price. In Swiss francs, the price of gold has changed very, very little. And one thing I've noticed is that gold has been climbing up. But in Swiss francs, for me at least, it is not climbing up at the same rate. And I also looked a bit at the euro because the euro to the dollar has been appreciating too. So gold and silver prices relative to what you see in the US, here in Europe, it's not spiking as hard, and nor is it going down as hard. So fundamentally, I think that this gold and silver itself is not overvalued. You know, I think it's actually quite a cheap buy as long as you don't earn your main source of income in US dollars. And the reason why I bring this up is because I think a lot of our comparisons for why we should buy gold and silver is purely based on analysis of whether it's related to the US dollar or not. What should be done is people should analyze whether gold and silver is overvalued or undervalued relative to the global basket of currencies. That includes the euro, the Swiss franc, the Chinese yuan, and the British pound, and the dollar, and the Canadian dollar, and the Australian dollar. And you take all these, and also maybe the Turkish lira. You can take like all these currencies, form a basket, and see whether gold or silver, how it performs relative to that index. That is probably a better way to analyze gold and silver. Whether it's overvalued or undervalued. I haven't done that personally. I've sort of like guesstimated it by looking at 2 or 3 currencies relative to gold and silver and looking at it from the perspective of the currency I earn. And one of the reasons why I buy it is probably the same reason was why Americans or my viewers from the United States were buying gold and silver a few, maybe 6 months ago, is because the Swiss National Bank is going to devalue the Swiss franc. It's for sure coming at a later date, but it is for sure coming. It is something that they cannot not afford to not do because the Federal Reserve has been doing quantitative easing. Sooner or later, they will have to intervene more aggressively on the foreign exchange market. And that's just going to be a matter of fact because Switzerland's a small country and you cannot afford to have such an expensive currency. Most likely, maybe for the euro, it'll be the same thing when they will have to try and relaunch their economies. Right now, cases of the pandemic is increasing in the areas where I live. It's gone exponential, so we're going to catch up to the United States pretty quickly, and they're going to have to find a way out of that. And that's not going to be an easy decision for them to make, but they'll have to make it if they want to get out of it. That's why I think that right now it's a great time. If you earn your main source of income in in a different currency, it's an amazing time to actually start going into gold and silver, because Americans have, you've seen what happened to gold and silver in terms of dollars. And once all the other currencies readjust to the dollar, which they will have a tendency to do because it's a world reserve currency, there's only like positives in doing in buying. At least that's my experience. That currently, despite the sort of gold bull people are seeing elsewhere in the United States, I'm not seeing that when I look at my own currency. I see it more that it's like there's upward pressure, but it's moving very, very slowly because the currency I hold is the Swiss franc. And I think it's the same for the euro. And it makes for a very different perspective, because I'm not seeing like a 20% jumps over the course of 3 months. I'm seeing I see a jump, but it's much more, it's more like a hop rather than a massive jump. It hopped up because the United States performed quantitative easing. So I guess people are also expecting that the Swiss franc would do quantitative easing. And they did. But how much, or how far are they willing to go? That's another question. And I guess everybody's waiting for the reaction of the European Central Bank, which we don't know what they'll do. They keep it under a tight lid. So that was my experience buying gold and silver was foreign currencies, because well, not foreign for me, but foreign for any of my viewers from the United States. If you also buy gold and silver in a different currency, let us know your experience. Let us know that maybe you're from a country where, gold and silver is, you're in a country where there's hyperinflation, and you can tell us your experience of trying to buy gold and silver was an extremely devalued currency. Or if you're in a country that's going through deflation, you can let us know what it's like to buy gold and silver with a deflating currency. Yeah, that was today's content. If you like the content, please feel free to click like and tap the bell notification button, click subscribe, and thank you very much for watching the video.